Hi guys, welcome back to another season of Baking Alternatives from an Amateur Chef. I'm Abby Panier, I'm a reporter from The Voice, and I'm going to take you on my journey of finding new alternatives to our favorite treats. Today we're going to be making DoubleTree's signature cookies. So if you don't know, DoubleTree is a hotel chain, and they're pretty famous for welcoming their guests with a warm chocolate chip cookie on arrival. And during the pandemic in 2020, because people weren't, traveling a lot and going to hotels, they released their secret recipe for their chocolate chip cookies. So today we're going to be trying to replicate them using common alternatives for allergies such as nuts, gluten. So today we're going to be trying to replicate that chocolate chip recipe with some alternatives for common allergies. Usually all the stuff we make in our house is gluten-free. So the alternatives for that I'm going to be using today are almond flour and coconut flour, which I don't think I've ever baked with coconut flour, so I'm kind of interested in what they're going to turn out like, because this is supposedly what they're supposed to look like, which they look very good. They have rolled oats in them and cinnamon and all this like fall ingredients, and I'm very excited to start off the season with these, but I feel like they're not gonna look the same. But this recipe wasn't made gluten-free, so I am altering some of the measurements because of that, so it's not as dry. But I feel like they're not gonna look very good, but I'm hoping they taste good. So also this will be a nut-free recipe as well, and not dairy-free. I was gonna say dairy-free, but I'm using butter. But if you are dairy-free, there are some alternatives to that as well, using oil, margarine, any stuff like that. So let's get started. Okay, so what I'm doing now is softening up my butter. Usually when you're creaming together butter and any type of sugar, you wanna make sure that your butter stick is either softened or completely melted. So I popped mine in for about 15 seconds-ish, and hopefully it didn't explode, but yeah, because I'm the type of person who just sticks it in there and I don't actually put it in a bowl or anything like that. So yeah, she's a little squishy. She's not completely melted, like so you can see, but okay, well, maybe a little melted, but maybe less than 15 seconds. But this is really gonna help the sugars and the fat from the butter all come together, because if you try to do cold butter and sugar, it will like congeal, like really gross. Let's just say really gross. I've had that happen to me when I've made biscuits before. It is quite disgusting. So soften your butter. Okay, wait. Okay, this was supposed to be aesthetic, but now I like actually can't get it on. Oh, wait. Yes, okay, clearly I can't do it without both my hands. But so what I'm doing now is creaming together my butter and my sugar. So I'm going to do about, okay, so I'm cutting the recipe in half. So 3/4, a fourth, 3/8. Jesus. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna eyeball it. And with brown sugar, in my experience, more is better, always. But make sure that when you're packing in your brown sugar, you pack it as tight as you can. I usually wash my hands first. Actually, please wash your hands first. And try to pack in as much, I can even do a little more. Okay, so that's 1/4. And then I'll do like 1/2, or 1/4. Guys, I should not be in calculus right now. Like, okay, that looks like, yeah, I'll just do less white sugar. Okay, so now that I'm starting to cream together the butter and sugar, I'm putting my hair back because that would be really gross. So next we also have, the original recipe calls for 3/4 again of white sugar. I'm doing 3/8. Wait, let me double check that. Okay, so yeah, 3/4 divided by 2 is 3/8. So in case you were wondering, but I do not have an 1/8 measuring cup, and I don't think anyone else does either. So 1/4 and an 1/8, maybe an 1/8. Okay, so Okay, stop being loud. Next, I'm gonna add in my full stick of butter. This is half of a cup. Recipe calls for half of a pound, so stop, it just looks so gross. Okay, so half a pound is 2 sticks of butter. So logically, 1 stick of butter is where we're at today. I'm sorry, it just looks so okay, so after that disgusting mess, I'm gonna lock my mixer. I'm gonna turn it on the 4th setting. There's like 10 on this thing. This is like one of the oldest mixers probably. Let me see if there's a date on it. Okay, there's not a date, but it's definitely from like 2000s. It is about 50 pounds, I swear to God. I really want a new one, so fund my baking expenses, please. It calls for 1 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, divided by half. Whisk, 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 whisk. They look a little sketchy, I'm really not gonna lie. I added about 1 bar of that Hershey chocolate, and it seems to work out. It was about the right measurement, I think. I kind of wing it when it comes to chocolate. I think there should be more chocolate than it calls for all the time, every time. So here are my cookies. See, I'm gonna put this in for 300 degrees for about 20 minutes and we'll kind of go from there. Hopefully they don't, I feel like it's just gonna be all big, one massive cookie, but we'll see. So, see you in a few. Taste test time. Okay. Ooh, they look like really nice and chewy on the inside. Okay. So I have my doubts. You get the cinnamon. Okay, I think I added the right amount of cinnamon. I kind of dumped a lot when it really said a pinch, but I think this is the right amount of cinnamon, especially with the oats. Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna keep eating this. Okay, so obviously these were not a flop at all. I think these are one of the best chocolate chip cookies that I've ever made from scratch. I will link the recipe down below if you are interested in learning more alternatives to your favorite recipes. Please watch the rest of my season. My goal this year is to make macarons, not the coconut ones, whichever ones are the little sandwich things. I want to try those this year, gluten-free, dairy-free, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned and